Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to Insert Name Here. It's a podcast about nothing for nobody. If you take it seriously, you're redacted. Let's start the show. Hey.
What's up?
Hello and welcome to Insert Name Here. It's a podcast about nothing for nobody. If you take it seriously, you're redacted. I'm your co-host, Doug Bennett.
And what's going on, people? Woo! It's your other co-host, Seth Nacho, getting pumped up today at the INH Studios. Whoop, 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 whoop. We are finalizing details for this spring. You have no idea what's coming your way, INH. Insertionist, I should say.
Indeed.
No idea what's coming your way. Wait.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else to add there.
Yep.
That's a good little sprinkly dinkly.
Yeah.
And if you're just joining us on YouTube,
Yeah, 'cause
you
what is
have no idea what's coming your way. If you hop down there in the description, check out that Spotify exclusive premium content.
Yeah, look at the, that too, yeah, but also look at, episodes from like last spring, and then you'll be caught up with what I'm talking about.
Heck yeah.
Should I no further? Should I go no further?
I mean, we can, kind of. We had a big Stallions update this week.
Yeah, and I think everyone knows that this podcast is a Stallions podcast.
It is probably the preeminent Stallions podcast,
Yeah.
outside of like a fully dedicated sports one.
Sure.
We only care about one team here, at least when it comes to spring football.
And there's another team we like to shit on.
Fuck the Battlehawks.
Fuck the Battlehawks.
But yeah, dude, we fucking signed back Alex McGow. He'd been spending some time in the big leagues with the Packers.
Yeah, he was like, I think on their like training.
Yeah.
So, now he's back. He helped win us the championship.
Yeah, led us to the title in 23. So for the two-peat, skip the three-peat, obviously. And, gonna make it a four-peat this year.
Let's do it.
It's really funny, too, because after this quarterback acquisition, the spring sucking sphere of gossip, they're all like, this isn't fair. How do we make more player allocations fair? Like, the Stallions have too many good players, they get too many good guys. And it's like, brother, you all have the same salary cap. Like, it's not...
Just recruit, dude. Like,
Yeah.
what you want from me.
I guess there's a lot of nepotism in spring football.
Is there a draft? Like,
I mean, not really. It's kind of like the minor leagues in baseball. Like, you get whoever, and it can be a career booster for those guys. Or some people stay in spring football, I guess. A.J. McCarron really found his pocket there.
yeah, I think it's the people that are like not quite good enough to be NFL, but like they're like professional though.
Yeah.
So
Or just like the timing isn't right with injuries and shit.
yeah, I can totally see it's like what you just said, the minor leagues basically. But it's nice that we get another football league to give us football content while the rest of the rest of the U.S. is not doing football. So it's nice to have football when you wouldn't normally have it. So
Pretty close to
I'll take
year-round football at this point.
yeah, right.
Yeah, if we can get like 4 more weeks in the season, then we're cooking. Then there's an acceptable amount of time off football every year.
Yeah, the summer always sucks because you're like waiting for college to start.
Yeah, really, we just play into June a little bit, take July off, then August, and come back to college.
Yeah,
And
bring
the
back
NFL.
Yeah.
With the college football playoffs being a thing now, you get college into the new year.
Yeah. By the way, congrats, Ohio State.
Yeah, they did in fact win. Kind of was looking for Notre Dame there myself, but
Same, but it is what it is. Congrats to you, JD Vance.
the good old Buckeyes.
I think Trump is still trying to figure out what you look like, JD, but thank you so much for being here.
JD's interesting.
Go.
I feel like when he got announced, he was clean shaven, and then he's just been letting the beard go.
Can we talk about, because this is hilarious, at the inauguration, Mike Pence was there.
No way.
To put the final nail in the coffin.
That's crazy. I would, if I was Mike Pence, I would be like, obviously he would have probably had to get personally invited by Trump to feel safe going. I would not feel safe. Brother.
Do you remember when he was VP? He made like a children's book about like not being gay.
That's his whole life is
I
about
think-
not being.
But
gay.
it's funny because I think he's closeted, right? Like he has to be the way he's so adamantly anti. You know,
like
he's a church guy. You know, he's like a very religious dude.
yeah, I don't want to conflate the two.
I'm not saying he necessarily is closeted, but I mean, like it almost feels like it the way it's like projection. You know.
Yeah, well, I mean, like some people really dedicate their life to a cause, and when he was in charge of, I believe Indiana was his state. Like he was all in on like gay camps, exploring conversion therapy.
That was just like his cause.
Yeah, and being like heavily religious, extremely dedicated to his wife as well. Like in his mind, I feel like he's just simply trying to live up to his interpretation of his faith. You know, it's understandable in a way. Like if you really truly believe that one, gay people are doomed to eternal damnation, and then two, that there is something you could do about it to help save them. If you believe both of those things, and then you don't do anything, that kind of makes you an even worse person.
Makes you a bystander, right? Which yeah, is not good.
So I can definitely like sort of. I'm not saying I agree with him. I'm not saying I support him. But I'm like, it just seems like a guy who this was his thing. I don't think that makes him gay.
I could just see him being like a masochist and just like persecuting the gays, even though he is like secretly gay. He's like, oh, I can't, oh, you know, that's gonna be funny.
Yeah, okay. From a comedy,
A comedy.
I can get behind
From
that.
a comedy standpoint, is where I'm at here. But at the same time, I don't know if that is that funny. I don't know.
Nah,
Anyway, we got JD Vance now. He just likes family.
yeah. I think the highest.
He's a real family guy.
Lucky,
the horse is here.
lucky there's a family guy.
Yeah.
A man who positively can do all the things that make us laugh and cry.
He's a family guy.
Yeah, I was sort of waxing poetic on this to a buddy of mine, but I think the joy of Family Guy, and thereby all of the McFarlane shows, American Dad, and let's not forget the Cleveland Show. That was a good show.
Yeah, the Cleveland Show had a great theme song, dude.
So good. But, so what makes those good and have such like sticking power is not necessarily their narrative or the quality of the jokes or whatever, but the fact that it's sort of a modern commedia dell'arte, you know?
What does that mean?
Like all of the characters are like crystallized tropes, and so you can
Some like vaudeville type shit.
like you can take those tropes. Well, the vaudeville's crazy. Commedia dell'arte is elevated. It's Renaissance era shit. It's things like the Fool and the Gallant Knight and the Maid,
Yeah. Okay.
and so you have like more modern ones like Horny Pilot and Cripple Cop. But you have all these like tropes of people, and then you can plug those into whatever situation. No premises.
You know what they're gonna say.
No premises too out there, and it becomes like a sort of a continuing what if anthology of like, what if this loser dad had to fight a chicken, and the chicken was a giant like.
What if the loser dad had to work at a beer factory, a brewery?
And so it's like, it's interesting, it's timeless, and the jokes are written to that form, so they always function the way that they're comedically supposed to. Whether it's not to taste, that's up to the viewer, and whether you choose to engage with it, that's up to you. But
This critical analysis of Family Guy is crazy.
it's my niche right now, I guess. I'm deep in the YouTube trenches.
I'm just a family guy, dude.
What can you say?
Positively can't do.
I did want to point out, though, highest ranking government official with a beard since, like, Ulysses S. Grant.
What, JD?
Yeah. So, It seems to augur well for 2028. The bearded ascendant, if you will.
Ulysses S. Grant, is he also from Ohio? I
That's
feel like he was probably from Ohio.
That's a great question. Let's ask Grok.
Okay.
What state was Ulysses S. Backspace from? He was from Ohio. He was born in Point Pleasant. Thanks, Grok.
Him and J.D. Vance. And Ulysses, by the way, is the same name as Odysseus. It's just got twisted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, isn't that the same guy's name? Like, if you, the guy from the Odyssey, like, you would call him Ulysses, I think, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Sort of the.
it kind of ties back into what we were talking about a couple weeks ago.
Well, who was in the Iliad then?
The Iliad, well, he was in the Iliad too. He's the one that came up with the Trojan horse. Ulysses or Odysseus? He came up with the Trojan horse.
Okay.
He was in the Iliad too.
Yeah. Fucking- Either that, or there was just a bunch of all the same type of monsters to fight. Because I'm thinking of the Cream song "Tales of Brave Ulysses," how his naked ears were tortured by the sirens sweetly singing.
That's in the Odyssey.
So
Yeah, that's in the Odyssey.
we got there.
We got there. We pulled it through.
Doctor.
Doctor.
Fucking we have carried so much water for that film.
Wait, what?
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
We might be the only two people still referencing.
Still
it.
referencing that joke? Oh, man. That's too bad. That's too bad, because that's a funny moment.
Indeed. But I could question how popular that film still is, its legacy in the zeitgeist.
Nah.
But I'd rather you question something else.
Ah, I see. So what you're saying is, you'd rather me pose a philosophical quandary that you might be able to partake thoughts in.
Yeah, do I have like options when it comes to this moral quagmire?
Was that a decent way to frame that?
Indeed. Yeah.
Indeed. Okay. Indubitably. All right. I must say, sir.
It came across as quite interrogatory.
Good heavens, sir! You seem to be a little uptight today.
By Jupiter!
By Jove! My good sir, you seem to be... Mercy me! I was just trying to quandary you. Propose to you was it?
Interrogatory?
Not interrogation, but...
Interrogative?
No, what's the other word for question? Inquisitive? Inquire? Just trying to inquire upon you. Bestow upon you a quandary for you to truly sink your teeth into, sir. And this one is one I thought of moments ago.
Alright, well,
Because, I was really thinking about it. How would you feel, you and me, okay? Doug Bennett, Seth Nacho, moving, okay, to like middle of the U.S. or like California. And I know California makes you go, "Bleh!" But in California they have the vineyards, like like where they grow.
well,
wines.
if you go upstate, yeah.
Yeah, so like that, but that's what I'm talking about, like that area. I'm not talking about let's go to SoCal. I'm talking about like the vineyards. We moved out to like either that or a farmland. Got jobs on farms. You and me. Living the slow life. Farming.
I don't
Raising
know.
the grapes.
I don't know, man. I think you drive yourself crazy within probably 6 months.
Why?
I don't think you could hang.
I could. You think you could hang and I couldn't?
Absolutely.
You're so full of shit. I could hang.
Brother, I was built for the dirt.
So you're saying you want to do it?
Fuck yeah, that sounds like the dream.
Sounds like we need to consider where we're moving to.
Fucking.
You a share house, you and me?
If we go to the Midwest, what I'm gonna do is pretend like I've been in jail for 3 decades and then start selling weed.
All farming?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, have a little private growing operation.
Yeah, I'm just gonna treat the hit NBC series on Peacock.
Yellowstone?
No, an even better one, dude. Tulsa King, starring fucking Sly Stallone. We can talk about that show real quick. It's hilarious. It is that premise. This mob guy from the East Coast, New York, king shit. He's the best mobster. Finally gets out, and the mob's like, all right, we got to send you to a new operation, because they want to get rid of him. He's not in the game. It would complicate things. Someone else has been in charge for so long. Let's just ship you to, let's give you some make work out there in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Nice.
Yeah. He gets to Tulsa, immediately finds out that his Uber driver's a weed dealer, and is like, well, fuck it, I guess this is the shit around here. Okay. And he starts up a vape store and then sells like Delta 8 or whatever. Starts running shit in Tulsa. The East Coast mob gets mad that he didn't just disappear.
That he's actually doing good.
Yeah, and so they're having like a transcontinental gangster battle. And it's a Sly Stone thing, so you know it's in his contract that he comes out on top. So there's like no tension or whatever, but just this guy who doesn't know what smartphones are. He like is constantly having to learn about like transes and gays being like everywhere like they are nowadays.
In Tulsa?
Yeah.
This sounds like what I was talking about, was it last week or the week before, with Ice-T, how they put him on Special Victims Unit, just so they could have someone to like, be like, oh, what is that? What is that? He's just like, oh, what's a smartphone? I'm trying to call Tony, I'm trying to get some gabagool.
Well, it's Sly, and an old man at that. So it's a lot of talking like this.
Talking, we guys gonna go play baseball.
I didn't realize you were supposed to get stunt, man. So I let them hit me in the head a lot in Rocky. The only guy to ever get CTE from acting.
Is he really? Was he on Rocky?
That was his big thing. He was fucking homeless. Wrote the script for Rocky. No one would shoot it without him as the star. So while homeless, he had to like find a way to get it filmed, a proof of concept with him as Rocky.
But he's not the one that played Rocky.
He is the one that played Rocky.
No, Stallone.
Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, we're talking
Sly Stallone.
See, that's why I was confused. Okay, I thought you said Sly Stone. I was like, who's this guy? Oh,
No.
Sylvester Stallone is in a show?
Yeah.
He's still making stuff?
Yeah. And
He's like old as fuck, dude. Like,
Yeah.
Adrian! You know?
And
So wait, he was homeless and wrote Rocky
yeah.
and had to get someone to help him make it?
Homeless starring in pornos. Wrote Rocky. And was like, I gotta be the guy though. This is my movie. I'm gonna be the guy. And a bunch of
Yeah,
people.
that's literally the same way as Matt Damon, actually.
What was his?
Good Will Hunting. He wrote that movie. Of course he's going to look good in the movie. Like Rocky, of course he's going to look like the hero in the movie. You know?
Wait, let me
he
guess.
wrote it.
Let me guess. You wrote the screenplay, so you're going to be the main actor. Yeah, okay. Then in 5 years, you're going to star as somebody else's character and use that to do the rest of your acting career.
Is that
Get
Rambo?
real.
Are we talking about Rambo?
I was thinking of the Bourne series.
Oh, yeah. You're thinking of Matt Damon, yeah. So, like, Good Will Hunting, there's a scene in Good Will Hunting, right? This is all of this commentary I'm doing right now is based off of Louis C.K. bit, by the way. Because it was so funny. He literally, there's a scene in the movie about the apples. You remember the apple scene? Like, he gets this girl's number that he's been wanting to get, and there's another guy who's also been crushing on her. So he goes into the diner where the guy's just eating, and he's like, hey, you like apples? And the guy goes, yeah. And he goes, how about them apples? And he shows him the phone number, and he has all his friends with him, and all his friends are going, ooh! And it's like, bro, you wrote this. That guy could have said, no, I don't like apples. What would you have done if he had said that? You know, like
Fucking a real everybody clapped type of shit.
like why would he really respond like that and indulge you in this? Like, no way.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, like he makes the movie where he gets in fights and he's cool and he also is really smart and he's a genius. Like, come on, bro.
Hey, to Stallone's credit,
Well-
Rocky loses.
No, yeah. So going back to that, yes, he wrote a movie and like made himself look good, but at the same time he didn't. You know.
He made himself look real.
Yeah.
But yeah, real show. It's as wacky as it sounds, and that's kind of what makes it good. If it took itself too seriously, it would suck.
The
But
Tulsa King, yeah. Well, fun tangent there.
yeah,
So, back to my question. You'd be okay with that? Us living on a farm?
yeah, well, yeah, I definitely would.
Why are you making it like I wouldn't last? Bro, and if we're together, we can still do the podcast.
Well, there won't be time for a podcast, brother.
Yeah, well, there'll be time.
Be too busy giving.
There'll be time to game. After all the work's done.
Those are like 14-hour days with no days off.
I don't think it would be that bad. I think there would be other employees. I think we'd be okay. I think we'd be the only ones running the farm.
Hey, you want a job done right, brother? You got to go supervise it. Take out like take some motivational implements with you.
I was just thinking that maybe we could inherit the farm after working there. That would be dope. And then by that time, we'd have our own farm, our own successful business and industry. Make a name for ourselves.
Hell yeah. Which monocrop is the question? Are we corn boys or are we soy boys?
Instead of Tyson chicken, it's now Doug Bennett chicken.
I don't see myself as a chicken farmer. I think
Instead
I'd go pork.
Instead of USDA prime beef, it's now USDA nacho beef.
Brother, that ain't gonna fly. People are not going for that.
What the hell did nacho beef, man? I can't handle it, man.
Tell you, you can get a combination sponsorship from Frito-Lay and Monsanto, and we'll get some corn going. It'll be the first corn that pops with nacho cheese flavoring.
Okay.
That's how we get nacho in there. People are gonna dial in on that nacho.
I like how you said I have to have a partnership with Monsanto. I don't want to do that.
Everybody has to partnership with Monsanto. They're the only ones that sell seeds. Like, small farmers lost in a big way because of that. And, the whole GMO thing is overblown. Like,
GMO thing way overblown.
Everything ever has been GMO'd. That was like the whole point of Mendel's body of work, is that things can't even be genetically modified.
Yeah, like, what's it called? Artificial selection.
Yeah.
Like, people have been doing that for years. I say for years, like centuries.
Yeah.
We've been doing artificial selection.
So
I think it's fine if
Yeah.
you go a little bit deeper into it and look at the actual genetics and like, who cares? It makes a plant that makes more food.
Yeah. So yeah.
It's really the Monsanto being, don't they do a lot of poison or some shit? Or,
I don't know if they're in charge of like fertilizers and pesticides as well, but I think it's the thing. The deal is that their seeds, I believe it was specifically with Roundup, like industrial strength and scale Roundup, their seeds were supposed to be resistant to that. But then like the Roundup, what did I just call it? Roundup, yeah. It doesn't like wash off the produce very well or whatever, and that's what people were worried about. But I don't think that was necessarily true. I think that was like also some woo-woo, ooh, I'm scared type bullshit.
okay.
Regardless. But yeah, no, if you farm, you have to work with Monsanto. You don't have a choice. It's kind of like, it's starting to get that way with if you farm, you have to work with Bill Gates. Like, he kind of owns most of the farmland. It's a little scary. Speaking of a little scary.
Wow. The end times have come, guys. Can't grow my own seeds? What the hell?
Hey, I mean, you can't do it and make a living off of it. You can, obviously, away from the prying eye of the global panopticon, you can still find your little corner of privacy. But it's like, you're not feeding nations like that. Talking about the global panopticon and Bill Gates and the scary future, one thing that popped off this week as we slide into news is it's once again time for the global elite to descend upon the island of Davos, the World Economic Forum. They're fucking on one this go around.
Oh yeah, what are they thinking about this time?
Yeah, well,
We're eating bugs again?
theory outside of the theories, just like here's the level of not giving a shit that they're doing right now. Obviously, it's a huge prostitution event every year. It's like they, of course, they're always they want to fuck. They want their little human toys.
The finance people.
Yeah.
Oh my
So
god.
usually it's like a sizable, maybe half a thou. Over 3,000 prostitutes have just flooded the streets of Davos this year. It's completely unmanageable, and apparently the prices are about as high as ever. So at least these men and women are making some money, going for like 2.5K an hour in some cases.
Good lord.
Yeah. So you really kind of like make your nut for the year.
So now the real money is in prostitution, okay?
But usually that's.
So should we move to Davos and prostitutes?
I mean, hey, if you get a good stable going, you know, a good bottom bitch, maybe 2-3 more, like all y'all could make it good for the year off of that level of organization. But usually that kind of stuff happens a little bit more in the shadows. This year it's to such a level that it can't be looked away from. It's very noticeable this year.
And that makes them all look like less official, I guess, you know? Like, oh, you guys got a bunch of freaking prostitutes around? Like, what the fuck is this?
On top of that, the speakers have gotten just more blatant than they've ever been. There's a couple of people that called for instigating color revolutions within the United States borders due to the re-election of Donald Trump, which is a tactic that was famously used by Soros-backed groups, Soros-backed NGOs, like 2014.
What is a color revolution?
Yeah, it's when you pay.
Like green? Yellow's gonna have a...
So they get called color revolutions because of like the Soros method of doing it really took off in like the early 10s, but you can source it back through the 90s, places like basically all throughout the Eastern Bloc. They get called color revolutions because every time it's a group that organizes around a banner, like the color changes or whatever, but you know, a group tends to have imagery. That imagery tends to involve colors, shapes, symbols.
Wow!
Color revolution is the shorthand for insurrection that is manufactured by NGOs to purposefully destabilize countries for the interest of global wealth. There was a famous series of them that happened in Ukraine from like 2011 to 2014 that resulted in the regime that is currently fighting in the war that's going on today. There's a long fucking puppeteered build-up to that conflict, but I digress. Like, instead of doing the normal things, like, we're setting this up to be good and nice and blah, 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 they're like, we just need to, like, we need to fund some insurrections in the U.S., that'd be good.
Okay.
There's a couple...
Destabilizing the U.S. is a great idea.
Yeah, there's a couple people that were like, AI's awesome because it's going to take away people's free will, and they're just saying it like that. And remember, we've covered the World Economic Forum before. These are the people who fund lots of things. These are the big money movers and shakers, and we know that money makes the world go around, so that's what's on their mind right now. So yeah, just dismal. They're just mask off. They're like, fuck it, we want everything to be bad, actually.
Yeah, what? You're not have free will. Jeez Louise.
And Trump did fly in to address them, and he basically, the content of his speech boiled down to, we're not doing any of this. You guys have taken advantage of the U.S. for too long, and things are they're gonna get fair for us.
Trump went to the economic forum?
Yeah, fucking tell him what time it was.
Did he sleep with a prostitute?
Brother, I don't think it's, like, no, well, I'm not going there.
I'm kidding,
I'm not
kidding.
besmirching the sitting president any more than I need to. It's
Because I could, yes, he has a reputation.
Yeah, we all know. But, yeah, just along the whole lines of what he's been doing in all international relations of, like...
He's going to do that again, like, which is good.
Yeah.
Makes us look strong.
Yeah, it's like... And what's cool is, like, he's not even like, it's time for us to win some. He's saying, like, it's going to be fair.
Like, that's one of the greatest things from his past presidency, when he was the 45th president. And he went to all the NATO countries, and he was like, you guys are not doing enough. And I was like, oh, shit. Tell him, bro. Tell him.
That's what I'm saying.
Because, like, I think they're supposed to put, like, 3% of their GDP into their military, and they hadn't been doing that. And he was like, you guys need to step this up.
fucking something. 3% is fucking small
It is,
comparatively.
but like they were not even doing that. So
Guess use that to roll into more Trump stuff.
okay,
But
you want to talk about the inauguration a little bit?
World Economic. Yeah, we can start there.
Start there, and then build through the week.
Yeah.
So Monday was the inauguration. We talked about it last week, and some crazy stuff happened.
Yeah, well, there was the one that you were telling me about. What was that?
Was it about Musk?
I don't think it was Musk. There's something I hadn't heard until you told me.
Was it the Mike Pence thing?
Yes, dude.
Did I not? We talked about that already, didn't we? Or was that?
That was
the
before.
show? Oh my god.
Yeah.
Okay, so
That's the problem with warming up.
it is the problem. Anyway, so the inauguration is funny. It's funny. One of the funny guests was Mike Pence, the previous vice president for Trump, was there. The
Wait a minute. No, we totally did.
I think we did.
Fuck yeah.
It's my
we did.
closeted gay man story. I don't know.
So that was wild to me. Then we talked about the rest of the inauguration too. We must have. Okay, well, there was the alleged chair prank that the Paul brothers might have pulled on.
Yeah. So
Elon.
first off, why are the Paul brothers at the inauguration? That's hilarious.
They're American heroes, dude.
Yeah. Okay. The Paul brothers, the man who beat Mike Tyson, Jake Paul.
One of the best modern wrestlers, and one of our best combat sports representatives worldwide.
Yeah, and we all know Trump loves the UFC, so.
It makes sense. UFC, Dana White there, obviously. Fucking Joe Rogan deigned an appearance. The Mighty Joe.
And the Paul brothers fucked with Theo Von's chair.
Allegedly. You know, they were vlogging, and his chair broke, and he just kind of like handled it like a G. Stone Cold did not look like he was punked, but then he tweeted about it, and he was like, "Man, I know a setup when I see one, brother." And then had the follow up apology tweet, being like, "Sorry to accuse. We straightened out the my spidey senses were tingling."
Yeah.
But I believe. Paul brothers, I'm on to you. I know y'all like to have fun.
Yeah, and it was just funny that we were talking about Mike Pence showed up. Like, no way he should have showed up, but I guess Trump must have invited him.
Yeah.
And then there was
had it indoors. Like all the stuff was indoors, which is not usual.
And then he had who else was there? No, we were talking about the Elon salute that looked like.
Yeah.
And I was discrediting it because I was like, he was clearly doing Heart Goes Out or whatever, and just he was just excited. But you're saying.
Yeah, so this ties back to some Musk stuff that we've covered before, which is where we have his post history, his verified post history, we know it was him, of him participating in an earnest manner neo-Nazi dialogues and ideas, saying, actively engaging, we need more white supremacy, we need to bring back some of these ideas. He's just posted in an obviously sincere way that, he fucks with these ideas, he's about it.
And everyone else on that website is joking about it.
Well, a lot of people are joking
Probably. about
it. The people who are being serious about it are retarded. They don't get. It's supposed to be a filter, if you take it, it's the original. If you take it seriously, you're redacted.
Yeah.
But so knowing what we know about that, and the fact that there's so many other ways to send your heart out to somebody. It's not like he had a mic in his hand. He was at a podium where
Yeah,
the
you
mic.
could have done something like this.
Open that up. The heart's in the center of the body anyway. It's right there. So, send your heart out. You can do that. That doubles up good for him because it also starts to create that little fucking. First time on the show, I'm standing up in the middle of an episode, but he always does that gay little fucking. Oh, X.
His dance, yeah.
That would have worked so much better. And then you compare it to footage of modern neo-Nazis, who, they rally from time to time in this country because there's no end of idiots. That's one of the beautiful things about America. But that specific tempo of slap top, at that beats per minute, that's exactly how they do it. There's just too many things to allow the benefit of the doubt. Normally, like I would be,
So we think that maybe Elon was signaling.
very much so. He, I mean, if you're of my mind when it comes to this, and then it's certainly not a good look that like he's going hard in the paint for AFD in Germany right now, telling them things like the Germans are a powerful nation. They go back generations. They're a proud people that should be proud of themselves.
Oh my God.
Which is not what AFD is trying to do, by the way. Like, he
Yeah.
might single-handedly really fuck up their shit. Like, all they want is what we're doing in our country right now, which is just getting things back in line after decades of chaos. So, yeah, he is gonna find out that shit don't play in Germany. They don't play around about hearkening back.
Yeah.
There's not.
And then, yeah, man, like, that's pretty wild. Because I kind of just took it as, like, not to be taken too seriously. Like, I was like, oh, you probably just did that on accident. But, okay.
Yeah, no. I would love for it to be the case that he's just being a goofy little guy, just a chill guy, sending out some love. But no, it had too much adds up there.
Okay. But yeah, so what did Trump get up to this week? He did a lot, didn't he?
Yeah.
Because he already went to Davos.
Yeah. So the Davos appearance was huge. Too many EOs to go over. Some of the most noteworthy and important ones had to deal with the border, state of emergency at the border, which allowed for the mobilization of essentially a deployment's worth of Marines to the southern border. That's cool. It allowed also for full mobilization of ICE. They've been bagging like 600-700 people a day. They've already been sending them back, talking about like filing them onto like military-sized planes, C-130s would be the specific model.
Okay.
But Mexico had already received their first couple of plane loads. Some people tried to run the fake news of like Mexico's not going to take them, and Claudia Sheinbaum had to come up and be like, no, obviously we're going to take back any Mexicans. We don't want the not Mexicans, but
Yeah, we want the people
You know,
that are supposed to be from here. Yeah.
but we understand that people need to go back to where they are supposed to be, and then they can do it the right way. So, it's nice to be getting cooperation from host nations in that regard. I think that augurs well.
Yeah.
And then the other big immigration type thing, the cartels have been formally designated as terrorist organizations,
Okay.
which is why you can get that military mobilization that you haven't seen before.
Mhm.
And you kind of got to wonder why it hadn't happened sooner. All these detentions that the combination of the military and ICE have made so far have come with like little to no disruption and no manhunting. They just know where all of these people are already.
Which is kind of crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
They already have all like the intel.
Yeah, they're obviously they're prioritizing everybody, like the violent individuals first. It turns out that like
Violent. Let's
Yeah.
say criminal.
It turns out that like city and state law enforcement don't necessarily have the jurisdictions to incarcerate illegal immigrants long term. Like they just don't have the legal holding over them. So people are getting caught up, charged, and processed on, rapes and murders. But then they're like, we don't actually have the authority to hold you. So I guess go back to your apartment. And we know where you live. So I guess go work and continue to be this guy. And ICE is just like, oh, cool. So we have that on record, and they just go grab that guy up. So it's been genuinely good. I think that's a good thing to, get people who, if we can't have them in jail, why would we have them in our country?
Yeah.
It's
Dang, that's like some diplomatic immunity type shit.
for real. I didn't even know it went that deep. So that was
no idea. I had no idea you could commit all sorts of crimes and be like, I'm illegal, so you can't process me.
Yeah. Well, I
No
mean,
idea.
it's good too, though, because it's like imagine situation where like.
Imagine Ocean's 11, but with like illegal immigrants.
No, more so like prolonged detention without like charges or sentencing, I believe falls under like cruel and inhumane or whatever that clause is.
Yeah.
So it's good that there are protections to where they can't just wantonly throw whoever they want
in jail.
In a jail for an indeterminate length of time. If you're of the mind, guilty until proven innocent, like, no, it's flip-flop. It's supposed to be the opposite, innocent until proven guilty.
Yes.
So protections against tyranny are important to have within a law system, but then sometimes it has wacky consequences like that.
Yeah. There you go. You got there.
Yeah. There's been other weird EOs, like pegging the definition of sex and gender together officially, and pegging that to the moment of conception, associating gender with either the large reproductive cell or the small reproductive cell, which I don't think fully tracks, but it does allegedly force there to be only two genders, which a lot of people have been really upset about that. Apparently it's going to mandate license and passport style changes, those have to match your birth certificate. I don't know what they're going to do with the fucking 300 intersex people out there who are a distinct different thing, but
yeah, I don't know. I'm worried about the future for trans people. Because, me personally, do what you want, But, damn, that can't define yourself as what you want to be. That kind of sucks.
it's just a bunch of stuff that doesn't really need to be legislated, honestly. And
that's kind of one of those freedom things, That's let us do what we want to do.
Yeah, because it's really two different. I was thinking about this the other day. It's two different conversations. The whole presented gender identity versus actual biological truth of your body. It's kind of like if you have a preferred name to go by, and maybe you used to be known as shithead, and
I was once known as shithead. Yeah, sure.
And now you're like, no, actually,
I'm just Shatid.
And everybody I know and love calls me Nacho. Now it's this is who I am. I'm Nacho. It's kind of back-asswards and against the entire point to be like, yeah, but you used to be shithead. You'll always be shithead. You'll never be anything but shithead. It's really dickish.
Damn.
Yeah. There's
kind of a bully move.
There's the real reality of yeah, okay, it's not such a big deal to use certain pronouns, and you just don't need to have the conversation about somebody's body because it's largely a private matter. It's weird. I don't like that we've gotten this deep into the legislation for it when that's as simple as it is.
But we do need to talk about, because you were talking about this to me earlier, about the liberal backlash to the deportations.
Okay.
What was the trend?
Yeah, so they're calling it cute winter boots. They're search this trend on social media to, really see something, It's icy out there, better get some cute winter boots, wink, wink. And so it's supposed to be all these tips and tricks for essentially obstruction of justice, getting in the way of immigration officers, stopping things like deportations, not giving them access to the people they need to deport. It's really popular in the lived up education sphere or queer community, stuff like that. It has had a diluting effect. I tried to look into this to be able to say more about it, but all the posts are just people doing the wink wink coy.
Just being coy, yeah.
But the idea is out there, and what's interesting to me about this is that in the U.S. Code, in the federal laws right now surrounding immigration, aiding and abetting illegals is a crime that's on the books. It carries some pretty heavy penalties.
Yeah.
If you employ somebody, you're eligible for 2 years of prison per employee. If deportation gets them and then you're responsible for getting them back into the country to keep employing them, that's a 5-year charge.
Wow.
Yeah. Or if you aid and abet somebody being here illegally, you're responsible for them, and they kill somebody, that makes you eligible for the death penalty under U.S. Code. So I am curious to see what kind of lawfare plays out in regards to that, because it is a majority of American citizens who are in favor of this going on that's getting carried out. So, unlike the first time with the resistance libs, with like the fucking rose emoji bullshit. This is more of an actual resistance type moment. So there could be a little bit of tension in regards.
Maybe
to
that's
that.
our color revolution.
It certainly could be. It's just an insane move to be like, especially in a lot. I don't know what I'm trying to
do
say.
the same thing that you did with look at the video under the sound number 3. You won't believe what she's wearing.
Doc, you can't search nothing on this app. Look up oxygen, bro.
Yeah, so I mean, to do it with that same energy, but like for aiding and abetting illegal immigrants, which is a crime, is crazy.
I guess
And then I just thought it was funny what we were talking about racism, I guess, and how the liberals are kind of racist with it.
Oh my god, it's the same. You see so many people being like, guess you can't go to the Mexican restaurant anymore. No one can make the tacos. No one's gonna clean your toilet or cut your grass. Like, you think every brown person here is illegal, don't you?
Yeah. Like, what the hell is wrong with you?
It's insane. It's just
And it's not the only jobs they do, and a lot of us do those jobs ourselves. A lot of people clean their own toilet. What, we all got boomer money? We all boomers out here?
Good lord. If I did not get that memo, if that's the case.
Yeah. I didn't know I was supposed to be hiring an illegal immigrant to do all those things. So I'm going to get on that.
Right. Sort of the last thing.
2 years in prison for my hiring an illegal immigrants.
Legislation-wise, that ties into immigration. Trump put out an EO that clarified who birthright citizenship is for. It has always been for a child born here of at least one citizen, not just anybody who's born in America. That's just not how it's supposed to work. So, and that if you look at the 14th Amendment, that's pretty clear. But yeah, reminded everybody, he's like, make sure that this gets enforced. Going past this date, which next month, I think it was like February 20th is when he dated it out to. He's like, after this date, make sure that, like, this is how it goes. We're not giving out social security numbers unless we know that this is a child of citizens, which is totally going to wreck a lot of the sort of immigration processes that have been leveraged up to this date, particularly around the H-1B stuff, because you come here on a work visa. It's not,
kid.
Yeah, and because your kid is a citizen, that gets you a green card.
Right.
Whereas, like, H-1B is not intended to be a pathway towards citizenship. It's a work visa.
Yeah.
So that's interesting. A lot of people are up in arms in that. A lot of people didn't understand the framework of it either. It's like, oh, this is so Kamala can't be considered as like, no, it's not. It's not taking away anybody's citizenship. It's not retroactive. They were like, oh, this is gonna make his own son not a citizen. It's like, retard. Melania was married to him when she got pregnant with Barron. Like, citizenship through marriage is a thing that will continue to exist and has always existed.
Yeah, as long as someone's a citizen, right?
Yeah.
Interesting changes coming from the Oval Office.
Yeah. They're all, I mean, it's all executive orders too, so it's all pending legal review and approval or whatever, but a lot of it is being acted on. Some of it is just actionable regardless. Like, state of emergencies can be declared by presidents, we know this. So the border stuff and the deportation stuff, I think that'll stay ongoing.
That's what he focused on, so, I mean, yeah, it makes sense.
Promises made, promises kept. I got a little bit of more news for you here.
Yeah, no, I'm aware.
This ties back into, for avid listeners of the show, you'll remember in December when we covered our first femcell school shooter, Samantha Rupno, who shot up a Christian private school in Wisconsin. And then this past week, we have a new guy, a new attempter, 17-year-old Solomon Henderson. He describes himself as a hard R-cell, sort of an involuntary black person, if you will.
Yeah.
Turns out...
I saw, you pulled up his manifesto?
Yes.
Bro wrote a manifesto at 17.
calling it written is very charitable. There's a lot of memes in here as well, a lot of quotes.
But the fact that this guy is like calling himself that he's involuntarily a black person is crazy.
Yeah.
It's like, what does that mean in his manifesto?
Yeah. Well, it starts to make a lot more sense when you look at who his parents are.
Is he saying that he's like trans race? Like, what?
He considers himself an honorary Yacubian. His parents are black Israelites, so, you know, he was kind of cooked from the start in regards to having a healthy mindset.
Okay.
Now,
This is one of our few Kwanzaa enjoyers in the country.
For real. But Samantha Rupno links into this. They were Twitter mutuals, and they were in the same Discords, and they ran in the same crowds. This ties into a newer age. I don't know if it's exactly like a pedophile ring per se, because so many of the members are children themselves. But there is this group out there. There's this group out there, 764, that's sort of like spread out octopus style over multiple Discords and websites and forums. And they all buy into essentially this accelerationist mindset. A lot of it has Satanism built into it, like specifically. Just real destruction, tear shit down, inversions of everything. They egg each other on a lot, and to do things in extreme ways. One guy who gets cited a lot in Solomon's manifesto is David Tarrant, who, for those who don't remember, was the guy who live streamed the Christchurch shooting in New Zealand. He went and basically fucking close quarter combat cleared a mosque. It was fucking insane footage. Don't go searching it out.
That sounds horrible.
But there's a lot of stuff in here where he talks about, he wants to make this a guide almost to how to perpetuate similar crimes. He even went so far as himself as to attempt streaming his shooting attempt on Kick. So that footage was out there briefly.
That probably got shut down immediately.
Yeah,
It's like what happened on Twitch when some shit happened like that. They got shut down immediately.
Yeah, he didn't have it set up very well or planned out at all, thank God. The few surviving clips I could find was of after he had already turned the gun on himself and his camera was still on the floor. You could hear classmates of his being like, "Oh shit, he killed himself. Oh, he got somebody, but he killed himself." Yeah, what's notable about this is it's almost like we've moved on to a new archetype of shooter to blame stuff on.
What's that?
And, for the longest time, it was the disaffected white boy. And then for the past 5 years, they've been really trying to push trans shooters. But this combination of Rupno and now Henderson, where they're both just like online radicalized, focused on venerating other shooters. Remember Rupno, the Wisconsin shooter, she venerated the Columbine shooters, going so far as to like cosplay as them.
Oh my god.
So it's kind of just all accelerationist, like acting out, edginess for edginess sake, destructiveness for its own sake. I gotta be honest with you.
Some shit teenagers would be into.
Oh yeah, I gotta be honest with you. If so much, the manifesto glows like hell. This reads like a federal operation. This is like some Project Mockingbird type shit, false flag, media narratives.
Interesting.
And then some of the last real highlights is he does an FAQ section. He's like, here's things that people will want to know. I'll answer them. Notably is the list of influences that he puts on there. He puts Nick Fuentes, which he was heavily associated with Groyper circles online, so that tracks. Nick Fuentes, a Fed, he's never going to dodge those charges. Candace Owens, he's like, Candace Owens radicalized me.
Okay.
There's a lot of Jew hate in the manifesto too, by the way.
Yeah, I saw that picture. You're out there, yeah.
Yeah, not cool.
What
On this show, we disavow anti-Semitism.
And he freaking was like, this guy, like, this doesn't make sense, man. He doesn't. He's
just
hard R cell. So he doesn't think that he's involuntarily black. And
And
so,
just a completely isolated loser of a kid with loser parents who got radicalized online and was like, yeah, it's my turn. Probably wouldn't have actually done his event had Samantha not done hers last month.
so he was like highly in bed with the feds online, and the feds were like, "You gotta do it, man."
And just got one-shotted by, I guess, yeah, this is cool.
Someone said bet, and he said, "Bet I won't."
So,
Hold up here.
it's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's crazy though. Yeah, that's sad.
Super
Did he
sad.
take out a lot of people?
No. I think he only got one injury, even, which thank goodness.
And then killed himself?
Yeah, he would. Yeah, couldn't handle it. And I was kind of thinking about it. I was like, this person is like already so fragile and isolated. Like violence is too real for a lot of people, and it's why that you can safely ignore a lot of there's a lot of people out there who dedicate their whole personality to calling for violence and revolution or whatever.
Yeah.
And then like you can look at somebody and tell it's like you have no idea how real violence is. You like what it entails, what it does to you, what it does to other people, how those moments play out. Like you wouldn't survive one cortisol dump. Like you're good for maybe one adrenaline spike, and then you're gonna have to like take 4 mental health days for the level of cortisol that's gonna flood your system when you come down.
Oh my god.
So I think that had like a large part to play in how little he was able to accomplish, which again, thank God.
Yes.
Yes. But yeah, this whole new archetype of like they're really trying to
These radicalized
online
online.
radicals, and obviously all these people I named as influences.
And they're like perpetuating like this like glory for a shooter, which is stupid.
They're referring to them as saints, which
Yeah.
is fucking offensive.
Yeah.
But all the influences they listed are sort of right wing coded.
Yeah, Candace Owens and Fuentes.
One legitimately funny thing though, because there always is something.
What if you'd said Ben Shapiro?
brother?
He hates Ben Shapiro.
But there's always at least one nugget in all these that is just funny, regardless of the context. He asked if one of the questions.
The fact that they did FAQ is hilarious.
Yeah, so that's funny in and of
Who
itself.
puts that in the manifesto?
But he's like, people will know this. And so he's like, who is supporting you? He's like, yes, I have received a lot of support from the r/Markiplier subreddit.
What? From Markiplier's subreddit? What?
Which, for anyone who won't know what that is, Markiplier is like legitimately one of the most wholesome YouTube creators.
He's a nice guy. I mean, I think.
Outstanding guy. Known for like doing a lot of horror content, but also for being a positive voice for inclusivity and togetherness, and not tolerating bullshit in his community like that. So it's very funny to say that his subreddit
Well, I doubt he runs.
funded,
I doubt he runs his subreddit. But yeah, that is
funded and equipped a school shooter.
Markiplier coming under fire this week
Just catching strays, dude.
for funding a school shooter. That's terrible, dude. That's awful.
Yeah. So wild story there. One that totally doesn't fit the traditional school shooter narrative, but unfortunately, I think that's the archetype that we're seeing built out for.
Yeah.
People got tired. People stopped caring about the white guy school shooters. Nobody believed that trans kids were transing just so they could shoot up schools.
Right.
So they're like, "Fucking, I guess we have to come up with a new template." So thanks, CIA.
I appreciate that one.
That's kind of all the news I got.
Thank you for your federal operations.
Yeah, to my federal agent, I will see you later. Next time I open up an incognito tab.
Yeah, my NSA agent. Hey. Hope you liked the show last night.
Oh yeah, Trump freed Ross Ulbricht. Let's go. Dread Pirate Roberts, he founded the Silk Road. They gave him 2 life sentences for making a website. Insane.
Yeah. It's really insane. But, okay. Well, cool. I know he pardoned all the January 6 people, too.
And then, oh, dude, they had such a hard time getting out of jail, too. Like, there's like a lot of correctional officials who might end up receiving their own set of charges for obstruction of justice. Most notably in Chicago, all the ones that were being held in Chicago, it took multiple days after that immediate pardon to get any of them out. It's like, that's not how that works. You have to follow this. This is the law. They're pardoned. You cannot incarcerate them anymore. And the chick, of course, you know exactly who was in charge of this jail. And we'll look at the LA fires if you need it.
It's Chicago. It's one of the big Democratic hubs.
He's like, I ain't doing that. Not in my jail.
I almost thought of like Obama, like just being like, "Yeah, we're not doing this." He's in Chicago.
We're not gonna do that.
I'm thinking Michelle said no.
But yeah, so much to keep up with. Like, this is one of those times you're not gonna hear it all from us. You know, head out into those trenches yourself. There's a whole world of information.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit that we didn't even, like. But yeah, like, keep up with it.
That's all for me. That's all for you. Maybe.
Is it time?
Could you pour a shot?
Whoa! Well, maybe I could. Maybe just this one time. Maybe just this, for you. Maybe I can do it. So cringe. Guys, I'm going to tell you what I always tell you. It's twitch.tv /Seth_Nacho411. Mondays and Tuesdays, doing a stream. And then besides that, I don't know, man. Just, we live in some turbulent times right now. A lot of things are happening. Don't be caught unaware.
Yeah. Hell yeah. That's it.
Don't break a law.
And if you're gonna, just one at a time. One at a time.
Only one. Break one law at a time.
That's
no reason to break multiple at once. You're gonna get really fucked up for that.
You can drink, drive, and text and drive. Don't text and drink, drive.
Oh, did you see the TikTok I sent you about drinking and driving? It's a skill. You gotta practice it every night.
The Tim Dillon rant. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you to do it. I'm just saying. It's a drink driving, lying.
If you drink and drive every night, you will get good at it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with weed. If you get high and drive,
I mean, facts. They've done studies. It's called frame of reference. They did like studies on students. Like, all right, this student, and they did it with weed specifically. Like, you study high, you take your test high, you do them sober, and then get high when you take the test. And the student who had the same frame of reference the whole time performed better than the sober.
That's what they say. The frame of mind you're in when you study is the frame of mind you should take the test in. So if you're drunk, you should be drunk when you take the test.
Hey, that's how I passed biology freshman year. Aced that final. And by aced, I got a C.
God damn. I aced my final. I was sober the whole time, so.
Dang all. Over here, you already know, it's your boy, Dougie B. Wiki. Check me out on X if you want to, or don't. Who cares? Not me. In terms of a parting shot, keep in mind that, your enemy, give him a route where he thinks he can escape, but don't actually let him escape. Because you don't want to have to face up the force of desperation in battle, Fucking, a man with nothing to lose is more dangerous than a man who has hope. So, that applies not just in battle, but in all forms of conflict. So,
yeah.
A little gem, a little pearl from 2,500 years ago. Shouts out Sun Tzu.
I knew that was going to be from that art war. Yeah, give your enemy an escape route so that you can. It's your plan. It was you planned it the whole time.
I was just pretending to be retarded.
Gotcha, bitch. Just like give him an out that is all pre-planned. You got him.
Bingo, bango, bongo.
Bingo, bango, bongo.
But
bim bam bash Bish bash bosh. That's it. Bish bash bosh.
Oh, yeah. Dang ol'. But you know, we could tell you so many things, but we always got to tell you the thing we always got to tell you, which is to carry water, chop wood, and most importantly,
Xiao Hong Shu.